Today, I want to talk about a very important topic, and that's relationship. The difference between having a healthy relationship versus having a toxic relationship, and the best way to determine if your relationship is healthy or if your relationship is toxic and needs you to remove yourself from it or seek immediate help or find a route for you to better understand your relationship. Now, this video is on a test that I actually came up with, and I think this test is the best way for you to recognize and give your relationship a score that is completely based on you and your own perspective. Because relationship is such a one-sided view, which means that everyone has a different view and different take on what a healthy relationship means. I can't tell you what a healthy relationship means for you, nor you can tell me what a healthy relationship means for me. We could have a general idea of a healthy relationship and kind of agree on some perspective of a healthy relationship, but we all have our own identities and we're all unique to ourselves. So I think it's really important that when we're looking at our relationship, it's important that we look at it from our own perspective on what our own values is and what we find important within any given relationship. So for example, let me give you guys an example. For someone, being surprising, their partner being surprising is the most important thing, and they think that if your partner is not surprising you all the time, then that's not a good partner. Versus for someone else, being on time is really important. Now, of course, there are some things like infidelity, like all of these things that are on top of everyone's list. But once you go fine tune a relationship, there are other aspects that can make a huge difference. So it's multidimensional. It's not one dimensional when we're looking at a relationship. We have to look at it from a broader perspective. So the goal of this relationship test that I'm going to go over with you guys is to remove yourself from your relationship, from your current situation, look at a relationship, a good, healthy relationship from a third person's perspective, look at a negative relationship or a toxic relationship from a third person's perspective, and kind of use the information that you gathered from understanding a good relationship versus a toxic relationship to discover what type of relationship are you having right now yourself. And it's really simple. It takes a little bit of time, it takes a little bit of practice, but the very moment that you give it that time and that attention, suddenly everything's gonna make sense to you. So without further ado, let's get started. So this test is comprised of 3 steps. The first step is, before we start, I want you to go inside of a room or go somewhere that is distraction free. That's before making the test. Somewhere that you're not distracted, somewhere that there is no extra noise, somewhere that you could be with yourself, your thought. Now, this exercise or this test can be done only by you or can be done with you and your partner at the same time. Though I highly recommend, if you guys are gonna do this together, do it separately. So do it in a different room and then come together and then kind of go through what you guys have. It could be a good exercise of building a relationship as well. So the first step is to grab a pen and paper, and I want you to title it A Healthy Relationship from My Perspective. A healthy relationship from my perspective. And what you're gonna do is that I want you to imagine the best relationship that you have ever seen, the healthiest relationship that you have ever seen, the relationship that you always dream of. It could be something that you saw from your family members, from your parents, from a movie, from a story that you read, or from your friend's relationship that you saw. Whatever it is, I want you to imagine it. Once you imagine it and you're there, I want you to sit down and write down every aspect of that healthy relationship. So, for example, I want you to make a list of it. So, for example, number one, being on time. Number two, being faithful. Number three, being attentive. Number four, listening to me. Number five, surprising me. Anything that you want. Its options are endless. You could make the list as short as you want, or you could make the list as detailed as you want. My recommendation, take a little time, don't rush it, and make it as detailed as you can. Now, once you're finished with your list, just like our music when we go rate it, I want you to go rate those things that you wrote. So, for example, being faithful gets a 5-star. Most important thing. Being truthful gets 5-star, maybe. Again, it's your perspective, so whatever you decide, this is just an example. Being on time, though, gets a 3-star or 2-star. And remembering special dates maybe gets a 1-star. Again, the reason that I said every relationship is different to every individual, and it's something that it's personal and unique, it's because the way that we rate things depends on ourselves. The way that I rate my relationship is completely different than how someone else rates their relationship. So it's important for you to look at this from your own perspective, and that's why this is such a unique exercise. Now, once you've done this, by now you should have a list of the things that you love in a healthy relationship with little stars from 1 to 5 right next to them. Then I want you to put this aside, and I want you to grab a second piece of paper. Now, in this piece of paper, we're going to do completely the opposite. So think about the worst relationship that you have ever seen. Doesn't matter if it's in a movie, if it's unfortunately from your parents, if you've seen it in your friends, if you read about it in a book. Imagine that toxic relationship that you absolutely hate. And I want you to list every single thing down. Not being truthful, infidelity, lying, or that's the same as not being truthful, being late all the time, not remembering the dates. And again, I want you to give it a score from 1 to 5. Might be completely even the opposite of what you wrote about the things that you like, or it might have other things that you haven't listed on the things that you like. The goal of this is to help you remember the things that you like and the things that you don't like. Now, once you're done with this, we're going to go to the final step. Now, the final step is where things get interesting. So I want you guys to put the first page, the things that you love, the things that you title, the things that I love in my relationship, in a healthy relationship. And I want you to get the second list that you have, the things that I don't like, and it's causing an unhealthy relationship. And then you could title it whatever you want. Put it in front of you. And on the third page, I want you guys to look at those things and cross your third page in half. Write in the right side the good things, and on the left side, write the bad things. So on the right side, look at the good things from the first page that you wrote and list every single thing that you see from that good list and you see in your current relationship, and I want you to write them down. So for example, in my good list, the things that I like in a healthy relationship, I wrote being on time. And I'm looking at my relationship, I'm reflecting on my relationship, and I see that my partner is always on time. So he gets that point, so I'm going to write it down. Then I'm going to look at that list and I'm say, oh, my partner is faithful to me, so I'm going to write this down. Oh, my partner has never lied to me, so I'm going to write this down. My partner is on time, write this down. Whatever it is. This is, again, it's very personal. So we're going to make that list. Now we're going to do the exact same thing to the bad things, to the things that makes a toxic relationship toxic. And we're going to list everything down. My partner is always late. My partner is always lying to me. My partner has cheated on me so many times. We're going to write them down. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to grab those numbers, those ratings that we gave them, and we're going to plug them in. So we said that being faithful gets a 5-star. So if my partner is faithful, I'm going to write down 5 right next to it. And I'm going to do that for everything that I wrote. Okay? At the end of this exercise, what we do is that all the positive things that we wrote down, those little points 1 to 5 gets a positive number. And all the negative things that we wrote gets a negative number. You see where I'm going with this probably. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add them up. We're going to add them up and we're going to get a score. Now that score represents your relationship. Be honest to yourself. Do you have a healthy relationship? Or do you have a toxic relationship? This might not be something that you like, or this might be something that you'll be surprised with. A lot of time that happens. A lot of time we have such a good relationship that because of something that gets on our nerve, we don't recognize what a good relationship we have. It could be completely the opposite too. Because of something that we like, we don't see all the negative things that are happening to ourselves. So the goal of this exercise is to give you a picture of what your relationship looks like. Now, when you do this relationship, you have to be honest with yourself. Where do you see yourself in that relationship? Where do you see yourself in that scales? What is it that you like about your relationship versus the things that you don't like about your relationship? Are you happy with the things and with the way that things are going? Do you see that your relationship is good and you have mistreated it? Or do you think that you have a toxic relationship that you need to remove yourself from it immediately? Or you see that you have an unhealthy relationship that could be salvaged because the scores are kind of right around the target. Completely up to you. You could even do this, and if you're questioning about this, you could do this and take it to your therapist. Talk to a healthcare professional about it. Let them know what your thoughts are on a healthy relationship, what's your thoughts on an unhealthy relationship, and where you see your relationship right now fall in. This is a great exercise, a great reminder to show yourself and allow yourself to recognize what your relationship looks like. Again, relationship is such a complex thing that I think there is no one size fit all for it. I think it's multidimensional. It requires person to person, and every one of us has a different take on what a healthy relationship is. I hope that this is a good start for you, but take this video as an exercise that can help you better understand your relationship and your way of reacting and acting towards your relationship, and take it to the next step. This is the first of many steps that you need to take in order to understand your relationship. But know this, that the most rewarding thing in life is being in a healthy relationship. So if you see that your relationship is toxic, you're being abused, or you're being mistreated, or you're not getting the things that you deserve, the things that you love, know that you matter. And you need to give yourself the time, the attention, and the respect that you deserve. Because if you don't give yourself the time, the attention, and the respect that you deserve, how can you expect someone else to give you those things? I hope you guys liked it. And let me know if you have a question in the comment section below, and I'll be glad to answer you guys. Thank you for watching. If you stayed till the end, I really appreciate it. You guys mean so much to me. And I hope that at least somebody listens to this and finds it helpful. That's the whole goal of my channel, is to be able to provide you guys with the knowledge or the things that I have learned, and be able to help one person at a time. That's the goal. See you guys in the next one.